The line of David stretched long and winding, passing through the splendor of Solomon's court, through the ruin of exile, and into the quiet generations that followed. In the shadow of greatness, in the aftermath of kingdoms lost, lived a man named Anani. He was not a king. He bore no crown. But in his blood ran the lineage of Judah's mightiest house, the royal line that had once ruled from Zion's heights. Anani was a descendant of Zerubbabel, who had led the exiles back from Babylon, who had rebuilt the altar and laid the foundation of the Second Temple. And from Zerubbabel came Hananiah, and from Hananiah came the next generation. Tucked quietly into the closing verse of 1 Chronicles chapter 3, Anani appears, one of the last names recorded in David's earthly genealogy. His world was far removed from David's harp and Solomon's throne. The palace had become memory. The nation had splintered and suffered. Foreign rulers now reigned over the land of promise. But Anani still carried the ancient legacy, a reminder that even in obscurity, the promises of God were not forgotten. Anani likely lived a humble life. Perhaps he was a craftsman, a teacher of the law, or a caretaker of family stories. What he lacked in political power, he may have made up for in reverence and obedience. To be a son of David was not merely a matter of pride, it was a calling. A weight. A promise yet unfulfilled. And so he waited. He waited in a world that seemed to have moved on. Rome would soon rise, empires would shift again, but Anani remained rooted in the soil of prophecy. Maybe he studied the ancient scrolls, whispering to his children the words of Isaiah, that a shoot would come from the stump of Jesse, that a king would rise with righteousness, that a deliverer would enter not with armies, but with justice and peace. Anani's name may have been the final flicker in the recorded royal line, but his story was not the end. His life pointed forward to a time when another son of David would be born, not in a palace, but in a manger. The line had not failed. It had been preserved, carried through quiet generations, until the fullness of time had come. In the silence of genealogies and the hidden years of history, Anani's faith stood like an ember, small, glowing, alive. He did not see the Messiah with his eyes. He did not rule, nor did he lead. But he waited. He hoped. And in that hope, he became part of the divine thread that would one day wrap itself in flesh and walk among men. From David to Anani, and onward to Christ.